Captain Grant Coppin with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing.
This week over here in Dead Man's Hole, we've been finding good numbers of both reds and drum. This is always a good staging area for those redfish to come in as it gets closer to October. I did pop one school in here earlier in the week, but the black drum had been in here pretty much all summer. I like to come in here before all the boats get in here and start working this edge. Once I turn this corner, starting right here, work down the grass line all the way down to the duck blind, is usually where I find them on that southeast wind. And it's complete opposite when that either west wind or northwest wind, which we did have that around the storm last week. So when they're blown out of the north or blown out of the northwest, they can follow this grass line right here. And vice versa with the southeast wind, they'll follow this grass line. So depending on what the wind's doing, come in here, put the trolling motor down, and catch you some good reds and some good drum. Over here in Pack Creek Channel, been catching good reds and drum both early morning and right as the sun goes down. You know, there's a lot of guys coming out to the jetties right before sunset, tearing up the reds, getting good drum. Kingfish, I've been sporadic in and out, but you know, you can throw those slide lines at the tip of the jetties, throw live finger mullet for the redfish, throw a big chunk of cut mullet for the bull reds. Come further inside, up here into the channel. Been catching good black drum whenever the perch aren't too bad. That has been a problem lately. The perch have just been voracious in here. And it's typically the perch are real bad whenever the water is super clear. When the water's got a little bit of color to it, the perch aren't as bad. You know, they don't see your shrimp sinking and just attack it like piranhas. But right in here, you'll see the guides moving up and down the channel. Basically, if you're in a boat, you kind of got that privilege. You can put that trolling motor down and work through here. But if you're on the bank, you know, you can walk down the bank because these schools don't move very fast. I usually start right here at the no wake zone and work my way west up the channel. And I just run into them, put shrimp on a jig head. If you're on the bank, you can walk with them. Once you find the big conglomerate of boats, you kind of know within a couple hundred yards where these fish are holding. Just try not to just throw it right down on the bottom because the fish will spook. So you want it to float down in front of the fish and you will get some good hits. I've kind of been waiting for this all year, but I'm finally starting to see some birds, pelicans working along the Kennedy shoreline. Been catching oversized reds, a few slot reds, and black drum up in the rocks just here south of Penteskow Point. Just get in here. I know it looks like it's all washed out, but it really isn't. Up against the shoreline, we're still catching good numbers of fish and also catching some quality fish up in here. Look for the birds to be working. As you get closer to Penteskow, you know that bar protects this water, so it's a little bit cleaner on the inside of this bar as opposed to further south where you've got a lot of water to cross from the Yarborough spoils all the way to the shoreline. This tends to be a little bit rocking and rolling with those big waves, but there's still good fishing here. You can actually drift through here if you don't mind fishing a little bit off color water. There's still some big bull reds to be caught out here in this big stuff. Over here on the south shore of Baffin, been catching some good reds and drum, both along this drop off. When the tide comes up, they've been in this flat here, and we've been able to drift them or power pull down and throw some cut bait. But when the tide's low, like it has been off and on through this past week, I've been just putting the trolling motor down, power pulling down, working this drop off, throwing shrimp on the bottom. If the perch get too bad, just pick that power pull up, move down a little bit, and start throwing again. Usually you catch those reds or those drum right off the bat. The first throw that hits the water, it's not a perch, it's a drum or a redfish. And if the tide comes up just a little bit, look for those reds to kind of venture up in here and run this shoreline. A lot of the shallow boats can get away with fishing this pretty good. But if you've got a big deep V bow like I do, once you're in here, you're on the trolling motor pretty much the entire time.
I'm Captain Grant Coppin. Thanks for watching.